Thank you to Airship Syndicate for letting me preview this a little bit early and give you the information you need to get started. One of the cooler things about Wayfinder is that everyone can use every weapon type. With each weapon being different in one way or another, there should be a good bit of variety for different builds. In this video, I'm going to go over the different weapon types that will be available in early access and how they work so that you can get a better grasp of what you might want to play around with. Currently in Wayfinder, there are 4 weapon classes and a total of 4 or 5 subclasses depending on how you look at it. First, let's start with Executioner, which handles the two-handed melee weapons like great swords, great axes, scythes, etc. Executioner class weapons are great at dealing massive damage to health and resilience. Although the heavy input attacks are slower, they can be used to build momentum, allowing you to do some cool combo attack extenders. Blocking converts all incoming damage to your stamina bar, and while you are blocking, if you press the attack button, you can do a shoulder charge. A weapon's mechanic isn't the same as the ability, but it is what you need to use their abilities. The mechanic for Executioner is called momentum. By constantly attacking, you are building up momentum with your weapon swings. The more momentum you build, the less resilience damage you take, which will help prevent you from becoming guard broken. When you use the weapon's ability, all of your momentum is used up, and it will increase the power of that ability based on how much momentum you had stored. Next is Guardian, which handles the swords and shields. With Guardian, you'll be attacking with both your sword and your shield. The sword does additional health damage, while the shield does more break damage. Guardian has the best blocking defense, and will also convert all damaged block into stamina. If you attack right after a blocked attack, you will perform a block counter. The power meter is full when this happens. You'll get a pip to be used for your weapon's ability. The Guardian's mechanic is called latent power. Blocking and attacking with your weapon will build up the power meter. Once it's full, if you do a guard counter or a shield slam, you'll get a pip which will allow you to use your ability. Using a weapon's ability will use all pips you have available and power up the ability based on the number of pips used. Now, Marksman is going to be your two-handed rifles. Although they have infinite ammo, you will still have to reload the clip. The reload system is an active reload system that we grew so fond of in Gears of War. If you hit it, there's a short power boost, and if you miss it, there's a longer reload time. If you press the heavy attack button, you can do melee attack, which does higher break damage. This is the only weapon that does not have a block, and this has the most subclasses associated with it, which we'll get into soon. The Marksman mechanic is called Eagle Eye. When you shoot an enemy, a small meter charges up, increasing the chance of a weak spot appearing on an enemy. Shooting the weak spot does bonus damage, and you'll get a locked and loaded charge. When you use your weapon ability, it will use one of those charges, and you can store up to 3 charges. Last but not least, Twin Strikers, which handles your daggers. The Twin Strikers are fast and have a high mobility, but deal low guard break damage or resilience damage. These are the weapons that can parry. When you parry an attack, you stagger the enemy, but also instantly attack back, so sometimes you may parry something and completely miss, but it's okay because you have invulnerability frames during this animation. The Twin Strikers also have a greater damage multiplier, being able to combo and do up to 3 times more damage over 20 hits versus 2 times more damage with 10 hits that the other melee weapons have. The weapon mechanic is called Blade Dance, where every 4th consecutive attack you land, you get a flourish point. The max amount of points you can have are 3. When you are in the middle of a combo, you can spend your flourish points for a flashy heavy attack that does damage based on the number of points spent, and also gives you some iframes if you use 1 or more points. You can still do a small weak flourish with 0 points. Each point you spend fills up your blade dance meter, and when that meter is full, you can use your weapon's ability. I know that was a lot of information to take in, but luckily there isn't that much for subclasses. The subclasses just add additional features to how each weapon operates. Their mechanics still function the same. Right now, only Executioner and Marksman have subclasses. The Executioner subclass is the Great Sword. The only difference here is that they have a faster attack speed, but lower damage to guard break resilience. The rest of the subclasses fall into the Marksman category. There are 2 rifles, one being the regular rifle and the other being Nightshade, the venomous rifle, which I'll refer to as a battle rifle. The difference between these two is that the regular rifle is balanced between power, fire rate, and distance, and the active reload gives you a 2 times firing speed boost. The battle rifle fires in 3-round bursts, however, and the active reload gives you a 2 times weapon power boost. Both rifles have partial resilience, piercing against armored enemies. Next is the Rune Cannon. It's specialized for extra long distances, does high damage with a low fire rate, and can shoot through and hit up to 8 enemies at once. The active reload gives this weapon a 2 times weapon power boost, and rune cannons ignore enemy shields and have full resilience piercing. The last subclass is the shotgun. Made for close range, it fires a cluster of bullets. The closer you are, the more bullets that hit, the more damage it does. Plus, with it being multiple bullets, there is a higher chance of hitting those weak spots that appear with the eagle eye. The active reload gives us a 2 times firing speed boost. Shotguns also partially ignore enemy shields with partial resilience piercing. I'll have a shorter video coming out going into weapon mastery, but this should get you started into looking at what weapons you might want to grind for. If you have any questions, let me know down below, and click this video to learn more about stats and echoes.